All right, gentlemen, here we go. Episode 18, Tuesday Morning Hero Podcast. This is like getting into almost the 20s commercial. We're doing this thing.
I know, yeah.
What do we got here? We're gonna take a little shorter look at this week, because I got the Niners playing, so that's where I'm at. But week 11 recap. We're looking at that. Looking at who's winning, who's losing there. Beating our power rankings again. Do have some movement on the top, so stay tuned for that. And then I throw in, I even some random questions. I've even prepped Kershal on these. I got some random questions I'm gonna throw at you, Kershal.
Awesome.
And then I thought we'd take a quick look just at some waivers. Looking definitely and more focused on this last kind of run that people are gonna have to make for the playoffs. So anyway, with that being said, let's hit it. Week 11, man. We're pretty much all in the books here. There's no games really still up in the air that are going to be decided unless something super weird would happen, possibly in our game.
Yeah, they're all 99%.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be happening. So let's just start at the top as we always do. We'll start with the Colonel Mosterts. I need to change that name. Damn it. Eric showed me so much respect a few weeks back with my name, and now I don't even have that guy. So I got to get on that.
It's gonna have to be something with Cooper and or McCaffrey, right? You got to work them both in.
I do. I mean, they're studs. Man. Any thoughts on this week? I'm having a pretty good week. I'll put up probably getting the 130s with McCaffrey still doing some work here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Mariota put up an early touchdown. I think first drive touchdown. The Colts came out and had the lead against the Eagles for quite a while. I was like, oh shit, I might hang in there on this. And sure enough, nothing else happened after that. So the
you
Vikings
definitely got cold.
Yeah. But I mean, it has tough matchups all around, and that's fine. That's what I expected.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean, I was a little worried right away when Taylor gets the first touchdown. They walk down the field, score, and then they do basically nothing the next chunk of that game. But no, I hate to say it, but man, I like my team. I do. Like I said, I mean, I have a few studs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Allen had a shit over a week, and he's kind of been shitting a little bit lately. But I just look down this. I got my QB1. I got a running back 1. I mean, arguably, I do have wide receiver 1s, even though I don't think they are. But Cooper and Kirk are both wide receiver 1s. They're bottom end wide receiver 1s.
They're still matchup dependent, right? They're still sittable on certain games. Wow.
I mean, I looked at before this. I think they're both. I think they're 10 and 11 in total points this season.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so I mean,
Cooper's a start every week. I mean, he's got Tampa, Houston, Cincinnati, Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got good matchups for the rest of it. So he'll be in there as long as he's healthy. And Kirk. I mean, Kirk's kind of the same thing.
Stinker, don't get me wrong. He can throw up a stinker, but.
And it's week 15 versus Dallas, week 16 versus Jets. That could be a tough decision, right?
Yeah, if I do end up making it though, week 17 against Houston, he'd probably put up 90. So.
Maybe.
No, but anyway, I mean, just looking down the list here, I mean, there's not a lot there. I mean, tight end is weak for most, so that continues to be a spot that we'll look to move with. But in general, I'm happy with that. Another solid week again for my team. Moving on. Look at Bones versus Shane. What a shitter week, huh? God.
Yeah.
Shane scored the second least points for, and he's going to come away with a W.
Yeah, I mean, he made a good play.
Maybe he beat Muse, I guess, maybe. So maybe he'll, but who cares?
He made a good play at quarterback, playing Jones, who, I think he was quarterback 3. Checking really quick. Yeah, he was quarterback 3. That was a good play. And that ultimately led him to squeak this win out. I mean, Bones tried to do the same thing with Pickett, thinking he would run for a few, but it just wasn't enough. And Mixon getting knocked out, that's 90% of his team right now. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't. Obviously, injuries can't pick those. I mean, Andrews had a decent tight end day for scoring.
That's good. If I was Bones, I'd be happy about that, right? Andrews getting 8 targets again. That's big.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely in a game, too, that is Baltimore, which was a very miserable game. I mean, up and down that whole game was shit. So to see 8 targets and that still come away with 12, I'd take that, too. Obviously, from a Sacco perspective, this was one that we would love to see Shane lose. He definitely is probably very thankful he won this with Tua and Tyreek on the bench with bye
And
weeks.
Godwin.
So,
Yeah.
and Godwin, yeah, exactly. So he's definitely very lucky that he came away with a win. But as Bones said in the chat, the guy laying on the bed shitting his pants, that's basically what Bones did. And I mean, it's probably not a reach to say. In my opinion, here we're also looking at probably the end of Bones' chances at the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably. With a win there, he would still be kind of squeaking around, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
And we already eliminated Shane last week, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought he had to win out. So this will get him to 4-7. I mean, he's got a chance. He's got a chance, but with fantasy football the way it is, it's gonna be hard probably to run the table. But he's definitely still has a chance. Let's move on. We got Travis going down against Daryl. Daryl having a nice week. Kind of a resurgent week for him, which was good for him. I'm sure he's happy about that. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say besides Travis has to pay another $5. So congratulations on that. I mean, it is his rule, so
What's
it means
the
he would pay another
cutoff?
$5.
Right? Because
Oh, Schuster was held out.
no, it
way
was Friday.
early.
Yeah. No, it was Friday. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
yeah,
could have
for
totally
sure.
moved Schuster.
But I
He
was
didn't because
he didn't want to drop him.
he didn't want to drop. But I mean, Fournette's sitting there. I mean, I guess I don't know if I would drop Fournette yet either, but I think
Beckham's
that,
the guy to drop. He would have had to drop Beckham.
yeah. So he's paying that $5 definitely.
I
It
think
was
so
time to
too.
move that guy out.
I
Yep.
think it would have been worth going for the win here. I guess he's 2 games up, so he's like, oh, I'm just fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
For
a
the
big
bye
run.
week.
Sorry. Breaking the action, Debo, 40-yard touchdown. No big deal.
Oh,
He's good
man.
at football. Yeah, he's good at football. I guess they're calling it a pass, but it seemed to be like a run to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, not a lot to say. I would agree. Like Travis is, I'm gonna go on a limb, and I kind of reflect this in the power ranking a little here. Is that we might see some of a fall from Travis a little bit. He's still got 3 top studs there that's gonna do really well for him. CD's great too. Don't get me wrong. He's got a good team. I don't think he's falling out of the playoffs, but if I'm Travis, right, I'm not for that 1-2 spot. I wouldn't get too comfortable yet. There's some good teams that are still going to fight for that, and that's huge to have that bye week. So, beyond that, tough to say. Daryl had a good week. Running back stepped up huge. Najee actually had a okay
Good game, yeah.
for Najee standards.
2
but,
touchdowns, 90 yards.
Yeah,
Take
I
that all
mean,
day.
For sure on 20 carries. So ravaging 4 and a change a carry. That's not bad. So there you go. Derrick Henry does Derrick Henry things. I saw some crazy statistic too on Jackson base. I can't remember what exactly it was, but basically it was like, golly. I mean, yeah, I was just looking at his touchdowns. Like in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 weeks, he only has like 4 touchdowns. That's no, I guess I got rushed. No. Yeah, 4 touchdowns in the last 6.
No, we see 4
5.
and 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's got.
Then he had
No,
a
you're right.
rushing
Okay,
this
okay,
week.
Okay. Yeah.
something low.
Okay. It's just I don't know, man. Something's.
He misses
know.
a healthy Andrews, that's for sure. And then, not having a stud wide receiver, he lost Bateman, right? I think that was a big hurt to an already hurting wide receiver core.
I mean, when Duvernay is your go-to dude.
Duvernay's like a poor man, like at best, he's a poor man Debo, right? It's just underneath. I mean, you can hand him the ball a time or two, and he's good with the ball.
Yeah. So anyway, but good for Daryl. I kind of wanted Daryl to lose, for my sake, of course.
Sure.
But definitely, great team or a great win.
Is Travis's lack, or this is really harsh, inability to manage his lineup going to cost him at the end of the year? Are we going to look back at something and be like, hey, here's what it is? I mean, Daryl did play with Kitty.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. As much as I want to. I mean, he's not getting a high grade on management, right? Like he drafted well.
Yeah,
I mean, he drafted well.
saw why he did what he did this week. So I'm not even saying that I am saying yes to my own question. I was just throwing that out there.
No, I won't take that bait. I don't think he's going to he's got too many good studs. I mean, Eckler is
Yeah, Eckler, Hurts,
good.
and Lamb will carry him far enough. And Jacobs putting up 20 points against Denver, one of the top defenses. Yeah, I mean, he's
I
probably
agree.
gonna take him away.
15 is good to fall too far. Um. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. We got Sam versus Tony. Sam versus Tony. We got
Yeah, this ended up being a close one.
for sure. Yep.
Another
Sam's sneaking it out.
upset.
Yeah, definitely an upset. I think Tony. We've been hitting at this for weeks. Honestly, we said his quarterback's his problem,
Hmm.
and it showed. 2.2 from Cousins. I don't think anybody's expecting a 2.2 game from Cousins, by the way. But
Dallas, I
um,
mean, it's in the realm of possibilities.
yeah, I mean that game was obviously got so far out of hand, and to the point that CBS won't even air
I was
it.
gonna say,
That
didn't CBS turn it off? Like,
yeah, like mid third quarter, like 10 minutes left in the third. They're like, "Fuck this, we're out."
that's awesome. Love it.
Um, no, I go back to this, and I would love to know, and maybe it'll come out, or somebody will share it with us, either on the post or whatever. Is Tony getting aggressive with trying to trade? Because again, look at his bench receivers. I mean, two are on bye. But like Evans, Waddle, and Chase is coming back
Mm,
soon. And then you got his starters, Diggs and Pickens, who's
mm-hmm,
very startable.
mm-hmm.
It's like, man, dude, like, why are you not moving a receiver? That's so much to carry and so much guessing every week.
Well,
And I,
yeah, we saw a little bit of it being hard to move people because Cody was in the perfect spot to trade someone as well, and he wasn't able to
yeah,
make a deal either. Um, I don't know.
yeah, I get it. I
Yeah,
get it. I don't know, man. For me, I would look to try to, but I mean, you're right. At this point, maybe it's too late, but he's going to struggle with streaming quarterbacks, and that could be a downfall, especially if he's got a week where some of these studs just don't do well, like a Jefferson this week, right? Just the game plan gets away from them, and it's just shit.
yeah. There wasn't anything open for quarterback either, right? I mean, you could have grabbed Brissett. That's the one. Woulda, coulda, should have. But really, it was a tough week. You didn't want to play Dalton. You didn't want to play Carr. I'm looking at the top 10 of who scored this week. And you didn't want to play Tannehill, who was 11, and Rodgers was 12, right? It was a tough streaming quarterback week.
But that's what I'm saying is that you're
Hmm.
pulling the card out of the hat every week anyway with
Yep,
these guys. And like
absolutely.
Tony is it's like when you have so much talent sitting at receiver, I just wonder if it would have been advantageous to sell somebody, to see if you could get more of a guy where you could plug and play every week. But
Hmm.
maybe not. Obviously Tony's good at fantasy football, so I'm sure he's got a strategy, or if not, we'll see what happens. But to Sam's team, quick, I just want to make sure of note that two of the three running backs that I said that were shit on his team are not on his team. I'll give him Brees Hall was really good until
Yeah.
the injury, but um, Clyde Edwards-Helaire not ownable. Obviously got hurt as well, so he's done as far as ownability and fantasy. And then he's sitting with Kamara, who obviously is very much ownable, but not obviously doing amazing work this year. If you strip out really, I mean, he had a good run there of 4 weeks I'm looking at, but beyond that, it's very much not, great numbers. So, which is so interesting too, by the way. He's very talented and for some reason doesn't get all the work. But
Yeah, yeah. Even looking at his snap percentage, right? He rarely gets in the 80s, right? He has one game in the
yeah,
80s. It's weird how they use him. I mean, the Saints went downhill early when Jameis was ineffective, and then they lost their receivers, and
yeah,
the
but now I
offense
heard
is
too,
crap.
not he lost his job, right? Because isn't he
Yeah,
healthy?
it's Dalton now. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Dalton. And Dalton honestly haven't played terrible.
hasn't played good by any means. But yeah, another thing I wanted to point out is finally you got a game out of Kittle's, right? This is it is his fourth double-digit game. It's better than I thought, but
Yeah,
something.
somebody had a post on the Niners thread that I read about like basically just saying like how the hell do the Niners just decide not to use Kittle like
Mhm.
Kansas City tries to use Kelsey, right? Like,
Yeah.
and again, I think it equates to this, man. The Niners are just talent up and down the board. Like I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Niner fan, obviously, but like you'd be hard pressed to go across any team on an offensive level and tell me which team has more talent. Like, I mean, the Niners' 1-2 receivers are awesome. Their tight end, they got two awesome running backs now that Mitchell's back.
Hmm.
It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
Well, I
So
honestly think it comes down to they don't trust anyone they put behind center. They don't. I mean, to throw to the tight end, you got to throw over the middle the majority of the time, and they don't trust Garoppolo for sure to throw over the middle. I think if we would have had more Lance, we would have saw maybe if they trusted him more, but his accuracy didn't look that great. We might have saw more to Kittle, but
yeah,
I don't think they trusted.
yeah, I can never put a factor on it. It's probably the trust. Also, the Shanahan likes just his game planning is just different than
It
most.
is.
So,
Yep.
um, anyway, but yeah, good win on Sam. He needed that one obviously to stay in the hunt. It kind of like I said, I put him in that middle tier teams, and it's a good win, big win. And Tony honestly has kind of been dropping a little bit as of late as far as winning and losing. He's still good team, but definitely winning and losing comes down to it as well.
Yeah.
Moving on, we'll finish up with these last two pretty quick here. No big surprises here. Kraft losing to Odie. Odie having another very solid week. Anything of note there from you?
No, Pollard. It was nice to see Pollard lead in. I don't know if he led in touch. He led in fantasy points, even with Zeke healthy. I think that's huge for Odie. Especially, I mean, now he's got 4 stud running backs, and he's just gonna sit on them too. He's not gonna make any moves. He's gonna sit with this group that we see right here and see how far it takes him.
Absolutely, and as well you should, right? I mean, as well you should.
I
No,
don't
I
know.
agree.
I'd be looking at matchups and trying to ship one of these running backs for like a top 5 wide receiver. Like I'm saying, like Jefferson,
Yeah, I mean, I have a note
Tyreek,
here that
something.
that's the issue, right? Is that can his receivers hold him through? But with Galloway and with running backs, they're always just injury prone and shit. So
They get more
if you're gonna
touches.
carry heavy at a position, I would carry a running back. That's my strategy typically, versus receiver where you can get a plug and play guy week to week. A
Not
little
this
easier, I
year.
think.
Not this year. But yeah,
You know,
I see what you
you
mean.
know, I just saying there's way more opportunities out there. I think on the receiver level.
Mm.
Like for example, right? I mean, I went out this week and I picked up Peoples Jones.
Hmm.
Like, I didn't start him, just holding him for whatever. We'll see what happens. But like, I don't know. His volume has gone up. You got Watson coming back, so like, I mean, that's a 17-point game there.
Hmm.
So I think you can find those. You're not finding a 17-point running back on the waiver
No.
typically.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then John, nothing to say much, buddy. Like I said, I was jerking you off in like week 1 and 2. I really was, and at this point, we're doing raw jerk offs, and nobody's getting any pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It's
Besides Kelsey, this team is. I love it too. He goes to the Russell Wilson thing. That how much abuse can we take? You know.
I know. Ouch. Tough plays, John. Good luck next year.
Good luck next year. Yep. We'll round it up here quickly. Muse versus Cody. Cody having another solid week. Maybe has some issues there, but he luckily has held down the Burrow. We'll see if Fields can play. Sounds like it's not too serious.
Day
But
to day, yeah.
yeah, doesn't sound terrible from what I hear. But I did find it interesting the time we're living in where a fantasy team can be very good with 2 Bears on it. That's interesting. You know, like Fields and Montgomery, both startable. How often can you say that in the last 10 years?
Well, their defense is so bad. They just let anyone score. Anyone and everyone score. So they're always on
Yeah.
the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the only thing I'd say with Cody, if I'm a little nervous, right, is that and probably not, but like, obviously the Watson stuff, Christian Watson, that stuff can't hold up. I mean, he can't be getting 6 targets, 2 touchdowns every week. So there's some concern there, and the Packers are terrible. And it sounds like there might be some movement down the road from going to Jordan Love. We'll see.
That'd
Seems
be
crazy
so
to think,
stupid.
but it would be. But
Love is so bad.
yeah. And then Cody's still in the same boat. We'll see if he can make any other moves. I'm sure he was trying, but with Pitts going on IR, not that he was that great anyway. He's back to the waiver. I do think Cody has Let me look here real quick. Yeah, Cody has no waiver dollars left. Juwan Jennings, and I'll mention that a little bit in the waiver pickups, is sitting on the wire. He'll be picked up this week as a tight end. Been pretty solid lately. But with Cody with no waivers, I doubt it falls down to him. So I don't know. He'll be on that look again. Any other thoughts there? Not a lot to say on Muse's team from my end. Just keep
Tough
trying, buddy.
break for Muse. Yeah, I mean, I liked the Tony play. I played him in DFS this week, and first target pulls his hamstring, and he was done for the day. So that was tough play. Boyd, I liked that play too. You would have thought with Cincinnati putting up 37, Boyd would have something in there, and he had 7 targets. That's great. It's a good play. Just didn't pan out. So good try.
Good try. Yep. Just that was your year.
Yep.
So cool, man. Well, let's get on to power rankings. I sent them to you. Feel free to tell me I'm stupid or change them as we go here.
Of
but
course.
Let's start as we always do from the bottom, work our way up. You can start with 12.
Yeah, 12 we got Muse. I mean, we just saw it with the luck he had this week. That's pretty much the luck he's had all year. So, yep, you're at the bottom.
Sticking where you are, buddy. Not a lot of movement there from number 11. We got John as well, staying right there. Not a lot to say besides your team's not very good.
It's kind of funny because he's, in 8th in the rankings, right? He's got 4 wins, but yeah, I mean, you look at this team and it is bad in its current state. For number 10, we have, moving down one spot, we have Bones, who, just can't put it together. Now we lost Mixon. This team might be in free fall now. We'll see if Andrews and St. Brown can keep it up.
For sure. We got you have you, Kershaw. We have you flip-flopping with Bones. We got you up a spot from last week at 9. Again, I think it's a factor too. Your team is healthy or getting healthy or pretty healthy, especially too with Elliott and Allen, both getting on the field and doing decent work. So I think you can make a run. Obviously, too little, too late. Obviously for making playoffs, but that's why I moved you up.
Are we going to see the Colts make a little bit of a run here at the end of the year? Because that would help me stay out of the Sacco. We'll something to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. They have the talent to do it for sure. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, especially with Saturday. He basically had done coaching my 5-year-old's football team last week,
nice.
And but he there's a lot of talent on that team, and Taylor is a stud. He's not definitely a one-hit wonder type guy. So,
and at 8 we have at the same spot Shane. Right, he had an okay win this week with a big play at Jones. A lot of red.
Yep.
But yeah.
Perfect. We got a little flip-flop here. We got Sam moving down a spot. We're putting Sam at 7. Not a lot to say here. Sam kind of falls into this middle tier team, so a little bit interchangeable here, but with the team we have at 6 here, I had to move him down.
Mm-hmm. And at 6 we got Daryl, right? He got hot this week, and we'll see if he can keep it going, see if Harris can keep it going, Debo keep it going, and Henry and Jackson.
For sure. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to put myself at 5 here. I didn't. I think my team is scratching these top 4 teams, and I'm not getting the respect that I deserve, but I'm not even giving myself the respect. So I'll keep myself at 5, even though I am going to move up in the rankings. I think I'm going to run up to 3rd now. Yep, I'm going to be up in 3rd place after this week. So, but I'll keep myself at 5.
And at 4, the reason you are not in the top 4 is just better wide receivers here on this team and studs, right? We got Freiermuth, Lamb, even Lazard's, been week in, week out with the volume. So that we have Travis here at 4.
Yep. And then we moved up, but we did move Travis down 3 though. This is a big swing. We had him at 1.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. Set your lineup. That's just disrespect for TMH. I don't care about the strategy. I moved you down because it can do it, because it's our pod. But taking the spot, moving up a spot from last week was Cody. We put Cody at 3. Not a lot to say there. Good team, good week. So moved him up.
Yeah, as long as the Bears can carry him.
Yeah, that's weird to say, but that's true.
And at 2, we have Tony still sitting in the same spot. Rough loss this week, but yeah, he's still got studs on that team.
Yep. And then we have Odie coming back to number one again, up 2 spots from last week. Good team, good running backs again, and also too just good management. He doesn't get kind of in the hype, sticks with his players throughout the year pretty much. So kudos to that as well. But number one for going into week 11, or week 10, week 12. Excuse me. Shit, we're in week 11. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna save we're not gonna touch on the matchups for the next week. Make sure to set your rosters and do all those fun things and pick up the players you need to. Real quick though, I will say we do have a couple matchups that are interesting to me. I'm not gonna say I pick a winner. A huge matchup for me and Tony. Going into that one, that could definitely make some moves there as far as playoffs go.
Mm-hmm.
And really beyond that, there's not a lot of playoff type situations going on. The only one that's interesting to me is Daryl versus Shane down there.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yep, that's the other one that's definitely going to be maybe a toss-up game. But if Shane can somehow pull it together and win there, those are the guys he's looking at picking up, right? Daryl's team, Sam's team to make that playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely is going to be rooting for you to beat Sam, and obviously, beating Daryl by himself. So there you go.
Of course, he runs into Daryl's team when it's hypothetically hot too. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
For sure. And yeah, so we got 3 weeks left. So definitely moves are to be made there. And just start to think about the playoff pickup as well. So that's where I want to head real quick. Finish up here. My first question to you, as a guy who plays in many leagues, been doing this a long time, won a lot of leagues, lost a lot of leagues. When do you, if you're in a position that you're making the playoffs, right? So you're my team probably makes the playoffs, Travis, Tony, Odie, Cody, those kind of teams. When do you start really looking at weeks, in our sense, 15, 16, 17? And then follow up on that, what positions generally are you looking at for this?
I like, and this is kind of against the norm, I think. This is the week, like before. So between week 10 and 11, I'm already looking at those playoff schedules. Normally, I like to get or trade for a quarterback. So usually these teams that are trying to get in are willing to do a 2-for-1. And probably the most common move I've made is I'll take one of my quarterbacks, usually drafted later, but is panned out, and trade and get 2 pieces back. Right, one will be a depth piece, and one will be a quarterback that has a smash playoff schedule. Right, I don't know who those are this year, but that's usually the strategy that I'll go, because I don't want to trade for someone who has a good playoff schedule and then have them get hurt. Right, so that's the majority of the moves I'll make.
Sure, solid. No, I agree. I mean, I started looking at it a little bit.
Otherwise, the flex spot is really where I'll pick someone up, stash them. And then, hey, they have a good matchup here. If they pan out, I'm going to play them then.
Absolutely. I mean, I think some of the easier ones to look at for positionally, right, is defense. And that's kind of one of the reasons, honestly, I picked up the Commanders. One was Houston, but those are a little bit easier to predict. And, I have for playoffs for the Commanders, if I hold them, which I think I'm going to, they got the Giants. They have the Niners, which is a terrible matchup. But then they have Cleveland again at 17, which again with Watson we'll see. But that's what I started to look at too, because historically defenses are a little bit more easy to predict versus individual players. But I love the QB thought there too.
Defense is always going to play.
Guy who,
right?
What?
Your defense is always going to play.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And you're never going to be a hamstring away from losing it, typically. So, all right. Follow-up question, or might not follow-up question, my kind of unrelated question. All right. I was looking at this before we started the pod. Who do you think has the most pickups? And then tell me how many pickups total with trades, waivers, free agency, all of that. Who do you think has the most, and what do you think the number is?
It's got to be me in the 80s by now, isn't it?
It is you.
Yeah.
No, you're at 66.
Okay.
66. So $66 bills you will owe
That's
this league
how many
at
I
minimum.
had.
You're gonna be in the 80s by the end of this.
Maybe. That's how many I had all of last year, I think. God.
I know. I should look at Yahoo. I wonder if I can pull it up on the fly here. But because I think wasn't it like Tony or somebody had like some stupid amount. Oh God, hold on.
Yeah, and then what's
who do you think is the lowest? While I'm doing this real
Odie.
quick. Who do you think is the lowest?
Odie's got.
Yeah,
I'd be
Odie.
surprised to see if he has a dozen.
Yeah, he's got 10. Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, that's crazy to me.
And I'm sorry, but that's luck.
Last year, hooked on a Thielen. Who was that? Let me look here. Hooked on a Thielen had 82.
Isn't it?
No, Daryl. It was
Daryl.
Daryl. Daryl had 82 pickups last year. So there's the bar.
Well, I'm not a contender, so it's gonna be hard to get there.
82. Yeah, that's true. Definitely stay out of the Sacco. But
yeah.
No, Odie's honestly at 10 is impressive. That means that that team is what he drafted, which is
stayed
wild.
healthy.
So good on you, dude.
Yeah.
But even just through bye weeks, that's impressive, right? Like, I mean, that's basically
his
the bare
bye
minimum.
week. He played a blank.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had to pay the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he didn't. Yeah, he says he has a plan, but it's still a little flying by the seat of his pants as well, just like the rest of us.
Just like the rest of us. Yeah. Who the hell looks at bye weeks?
Yeah.
But no. Other than that, man, I don't have any other burning questions. I am just interested to see, how this plays out. But at the end of the day, it's been fun to like kind of watch this through, and selfishly, I've been happy that my team's on a 4-game winner. So there you go.
Hell yeah! Well, keep it rolling.
Absolutely. But yeah, let's get somebody's listening to this and makes it to the minute whatever the hell we're on here.
30.
30. Let's get a guest back on here. Who hasn't been on here? I'm talking to you, Tony. I'm talking to you,
Kraft.
Let's see here, Sammy.
Sam.
John. One of you guys. Step up. Let's get you on the pod before this thing gets into the playoffs. And we got some cool stuff coming. I got some cool ideas that we're going to be rolling with for the playoff stuff. And then taking a look back at the draft and picking our winners and losers there. So anyway, much more fun to come. We'll keep doing this. And I think we'll also kind of keep it doing at least one after the season. You think you're good with that, Kershaw?
Absolutely.
Like follow up?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll do some cool there. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Let us know. We always like to share your your guys' thoughts on them. If we suck or you guys, whatever. So, all right, come on. Peace. We'll see you next week.
Later.